Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the news that we got that the announcement that there's going to be a season 2 of the Tower of God anime, which was really exciting news. There is a video out, kind of trailer, but it's more like a recap with a little bit kind of showcasing like what's to come type of situation. So it's not too much, but it's still kind of nice to know like, hey, the announcement has been made and I'm so excited. The thing is, like, Tower of God is that type of series where, like, because it, like, prior to me watching the first season of the anime, which I did like maybe last year, so it's been a little while, but I had not read Tower of God in a while, so I'd completely forgotten. The fact is, I love that series as much as I do, because I actually picked it up again when I finished watching season 1 of the anime, and I ended up, instead of rereading season 1 of the webtoon, which I should have, just to kind of remember what was different and what was the same. Either way, I picked up with season 2 of the webtoon and continue on, and I'm up to see, like, I'm decently caught up. I haven't read in like a couple weeks, because I try not to say too caught up. But either way, I'm so excited for season 2. Like, to anyone that has, you know, maybe some people only have ever watched the anime and haven't read the webtoon, which I highly recommend you do. It's a really good series. Once again, I forget just like how much I love the show, I mean this series, and like reading the webtoon again, picking up again, I'm like, oh my god, I love this so much. It is easily one of my favorite like fantasy properties. It's so good. I'm really excited for, obviously, like, you know, they tease it at the end of season 1. I won't go into any spoilers or anything, but if you've seen the season 1 finale, like, there's a little teaser at the end kind of setting up season 2, and I'm so excited. Obviously, like, that twist at the end of season 1, I was like, that's so good. And when I read that the first time in the webtoon, I was so excited, and because it makes watching season 1, like, once again, I didn't remember everything, but knowing everything leading up to that stinger at the end of season 1, I was like, dude, it makes the entire journey, you're just like, ooh, you hate a certain character, you're just like, I can't stand you because I know what you're gonna do. You're a terrible, terrible person. But I'm excited for season 2 just because obviously things get expanded upon even more. The story gets darker. Wait, don't get it twisted. Season 1 was already dark as well, but season 2 is where it really starts leaning into some of the dark elements. Bomb's story gets darker and complicated, but obviously, well, it's not till later on, but obviously he starts figuring out more and more. But there was a teaser of a character in the trailer. A certain character has a back tattoo with their name on it. That was like, I was like, wait, was that from season 1 or was that something they're sprinkling? Because I think I remember from the webtoon, because season 2 is going to be interesting, because when it does eventually come out, I will have, because it hasn't been that long. Like I said, I read through season 2 and everything and caught up, like, probably, like, it's been a couple months ago I did. Well, probably even longer. It was when I, like I said, when I finished watching season 1 of the anime, but it's a lot clearer in my head, so I have a lot more comparing and contrasting I could probably do in comparison to season 1 of the webtoon, because it had been years since I read it by the time I watched the anime. But either way, but I don't think that character, like, maybe there were like some instances, but like that particular, like, oh, showing that person's tattoo and back, I'm like, that's specifically from season 2 of the webtoon, I think. So there, I mean, there are certain things. There's a certain blonde-headed character that pops up. I mean, he's even in the thumbnail of the video. So I was like, yeah. So once again, don't want to talk into spoilers and stuff like that. But what I'm also interested by this is, how are they going to do season 2 of the webtoon? Because if you are unaware, because maybe you haven't read the webtoon, because I did not, because when I originally read it, I didn't realize how long season 2 was, because it was still in the middle of season 2 when back before I stopped. I was like partway through season 2. Basically put it, I was like around the Hell Train arc is where I was, to anyone that's in perspective, and that's where the webtoon was back then when I had originally stopped. So once again, but I didn't realize, like, oh, because I was thinking, like, I was maybe closer to the end than I was. Not really. Like, season 2 is actually fairly long. I think I looked up the comparison. It's like 4 to maybe 5 times longer than season 1, because season 1 was like 90 chapters. I think season 2 is like 300 and some chapters or something like that. I could be wrong. Either way, I'm curious how they do that, because I think they did a pretty faithful adaptation. Like I said, not having remembered season 1 as much, I do feel like the anime did, I mean, it followed the general story, and I think they adapted most of it, and they might have changed some little stuff here and there, but that was like basically 90 chapters in 13 episodes. I'm so curious to see what they're going to do with season 2, because season 2 is pretty expensive. Like I said, it's very, very long, longer than you would kind of think it is, but I do have it in my head, like, if they decided to do 13 episodes, if they're able to squeeze that in to 13, I'd be surprised. But I feel like season 2 would have to be way longer. It'd have to be double the size of season 1. It'd have to be at bare minimum 24, 26. But you know, what do I know about how? I mean, it depends on how much they're able to squeeze into, like how many chapters they're able to squeeze into one episode and stuff like that. And you know, they might like pace it a lot differently or something like that. I don't know. But what's going to be interesting about it too in that regard is like I have an idea in my head, like say they want to do 13 episodes, I have an idea in my head, I'm like, that could potentially be like the cutoff mark if they did that. You know, without jumping around, without spoiling too much, like the battle workshop conclusion, the conclusion of that, I could feel like that could be like the end of season 2 if they want it to. It'd be interesting because like at least, like I said, 1-to-1, season 1 of the webtoon to season 1 of the anime are like added, like it is like the entirety of the season 1 webtoon. So it'd be interesting if they divided it up like that. There's not much information out there. At least I don't think so. From what I saw, it was just like, right, there's no even announcement of a date, just knowing that it's coming soon. So I was bummed when I saw it, because obviously I got to the anime late, so I didn't realize there was only one season now, and at the time it was unclear whether there was going to be a season 2 or not, and I'm so happy because the show gets even more action-packed going forward. I mean, well, the series gets way more action-packed, and like I said, things get more explosive as like the power scaling, like obviously goes in like crazy waves over the course of this series. I mean, you go from season 1 to season 2 is wild. Season 2 to season 3 is even crazier. So, and like I said, seeing some of those, how dark this story gets is going to definitely be interesting. But I think I'd said that at the time that the battle workshop might be where they could potentially end season 2, just because of how long it was. I might even said that during the reviews. Either way. I'm so pumped for this. I'm so excited. I highly recommend, if you've never read the Tower of God webtoon, you should. It's a fantastic series. It can be depressing at times with just like how dark it is. There's a lot of blood and death in it from time to time, and you're just, sometimes you see it come, sometimes you won't, and you're just kind of like, there's certain deaths that still resonate in my head, or certain characters we meet in season 2 I know are dead currently, and it just like, it's going to be so depressing seeing them again. So it's going to be so interesting to see where that series ends up, what ends up happening with the anime. Obviously, these are just some of my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. Are you excited? Are you not excited? I'm assuming if you're coming across it, you're potentially excited, so I hope at least you're excited. Are you someone who's read the webtoon? Have you not? And if you haven't read the webtoon, does that change your excitement for it? Yes, no? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.